Section 7.2, sum and different formulas. What we're going to do with these next 5 problems is verify each identity. So our first step in our problem number 1 is to set it equal to the right-hand side. So I'm first going to begin by rewriting the left equal to my right-hand side. So now what I notice is that we have a tangent, but we're going to actually use the difference formula of tangent. Okay, so that now makes our left-hand side tangent of theta minus tangent of pi over 4 divided by 1 plus the quantity tangent theta times tangent of pi over 4. Now, since we have values like tangent of pi over 4, we're going to use our unit circle values to start simplifying. So we know that tangent of pi over 4 is 1, so we have tangent theta minus 1 over 1 plus tangent theta, and then times 1. So now we are very close to looking like our right-hand side. I'm going to come up here, and we're just going to rearrange it and say tangent theta minus 1 over, I'm going to write tangent theta in front now, plus 1. Problem number 2, the first thing I noticed is in that numerator, we're going to use the sum and different formulas for sine. So that's going to give my first, or I would say this part right here, the first sine theta plus beta would be alpha. Sine alpha cosine beta plus cosine of alpha times sine beta. And we're going to add it to the difference formula for sine, which is sine alpha cosine beta minus cosine alpha sine beta. Okay, so this whole thing is going to be over the denominator, cosine alpha cosine beta, and it's equal to our right-hand side. Okay, so now we can simplify. We have cosine alpha sine beta and then minus cosine alpha sine beta. So now I'm going to rewrite and see what I'm left with. Okay, now the other thing I could do, and you could actually skip that step I just wrote and go straight here. If you notice, in the numerator we have the same thing twice. So what I can do now is say, okay, well, now we have 2 sine alpha cosine beta. And what that does is get rid of the addition problem on the numerator and allows me to now multiply all these functions together, which allows me to simplify. I can't simplify if there's pluses and minuses in between, but now I can simplify the fact that we have cosine beta on the numerator and the denominator. So then what we get is 2 sine alpha over cosine alpha. And again, you can go straight to this final step if you'd like without writing it, but we know that sine over cosine is tangent, so that is our right-hand side. So we have 2 tangent of alpha, which is what we were looking for on our right-hand side. Okay, so for number 3, we're going to start by using the sum formula for cosine and then the difference formula for sine. Okay, so that's going to make the sum formula for cosine is going to give us cosine x times cosine of pi over 3 minus sine x times sine of pi over 3. And then we have a plus. Now we're going to do the difference formula for sine, which is sine x cosine of pi over 6 minus cosine x of sine of pi over 6. All right, so now we're going to use our unit circle to simplify because we have a lot of values on here that we can find on our unit circle. Okay, so cosine of 1/3, let me use a different color. Cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. So we're going to have 1/2 cosine x minus sine of pi over 3 is root 3 over 2 sine x. I'm just taking those values since they are values on the unit circle, and I'm putting them in front now. So their order's switching a little bit just so that they look more like coefficients in front. All right, so then we're going to add it to cosine of pi over 6, which is root 3 over 2 sine x, and then sine of pi over 6, which is 1/2. So we're going to do minus 1/2 cosine x. And this is going to equal our right-hand side. And I think I forgot to add that up here. And the right-hand side we're looking for in this case is going to be 0. So hopefully things start simplifying. All right, so we have positive cosine x, and all the way on the right we have negative cosine x. So these guys go away, and so do the middle two terms. They subtract out, and we get 0 on the left, which is our right-hand side. For number 4, we're going to start with the sum formula for sine on the left-hand side, and we're going to set it equal to the right-hand side. Okay, so this formula is going to look like sine gamma cosine pi over 4 plus cosine of gamma sine of pi over 4. So once again, we have some exact values here that's going to be found on our unit circle. So we're going to apply that and see what we come up with. So for each of these steps, you just kind of start with your formulas and then see what it gives you and see how you can adjust the left side to become the right side. So cosine of pi over 4 becomes root 2 over 2 times sine of gamma plus sine of pi over 4 also becomes root 2 over 2 cosine gamma. So they both share root 2 over 2, so we're actually going to factor that out. So we have root 2 over 2 sine, parenthesis, sine gamma plus cosine gamma, which is exactly what we were looking for on the right-hand side. Okay, in our last problem, we have sine of x plus y and x minus y, so we're going to use the sum and difference formulas for sine. All right, so we're going to have sine x times cosine y plus cosine x sine y, and we're going to add that to the difference formula, which is sine x cosine y minus cosine x sine y. All right, so now let's see if anything simplifies. All right, so we have positive and negative cosine x sine y, so that simplifies. And that means then we can go straight to our final step. If you don't see it, you can write it again and then give me one more step, that's fine. But these two are the same thing, which means we have two of the same thing, so we can put that coefficient of 2 in front. sine x cosine y, which is exactly what we were looking for on the right-hand side. So I'm fine if you don't rewrite the sine x cosine y individually and then write the two. Understanding that you have two from the first step is totally fine and makes sense in your process. So this is the solution to number 5.